We are what we are because we have been what we have been. Before you diagnose yourself with depression or low self-esteem, make sure that you're not surrounded by fools. Just as no one can be forced into belief, so no one can be forced into unbelief. Everyone has wishes which he would not like to tell to others, which he does not want to admit even to himself. He that has eyes to see and ears to hear may convince himself that no mortal can keep a secret. If his lips are silent, he chatters with his fingertips, betrayal oozes out of him at every pore. The virtuous man contents himself with dreaming that which the wicked man does in actual life. Love and work. Work and love, that's all there is. The intention that man should be happy is not in the plan of creation. Dreams with a painful content are to be analyzed as the fulfillments of wishes. I cannot think of any need in childhood as strong as the need for a father's protection. Being entirely honest with oneself is a good exercise. Where does a thought go when it's forgotten? When inspiration does not come to me, I go halfway to meet it. If youth knew, if age could. A woman should soften but not weaken a man. Love and work are the cornerstones of our humanness. Future ages will produce further great advances in this realm of culture, probably inconceivable now, and will increase man's likeness to a god still more. The scope of one's personality is defined by the magnitude of that problem which is capable of driving a person out of his wits. It is impossible to escape the impression that people commonly use false standards of measurement. When making a decision of minor importance, I have always found it advantageous to consider all the pros and cons. Unexpressed emotions will never die. They are buried alive and will come forth later in uglier ways. Everywhere I go I find a poet has been there before me. Out of your vulnerabilities will come your strength. Religion is a system of wishful illusions together with a disavowal of reality. Immorality, no less than morality, has at all times found support in religion. Words have a magical power. They can bring either the greatest happiness or deepest despair. Experience teaches us that the world is not a nursery. Flowers are restful to look at. They have neither emotions nor conflicts. Most people do not really want freedom, because freedom involves responsibility, and most people are frightened of responsibility. We are never so defenseless against suffering as when we love. The first human who hurled an insult instead of a stone was the founder of civilization. At the height of being in love, the boundary between ego and object threatens to melt away. We are never so defenseless against suffering as when we love. The mind is like an iceberg, it floats with 1/7 of its bulk above water. One thing about human beings puzzles me the most is their conscious effort to be connected with the object of their affection even if it kills them slowly within. One day, in retrospect, the years of struggle will strike you as the most beautiful. He does not believe that does not live according to his belief. Whoever loves becomes humble. Those who love have, so to speak, pawned a part of their narcissism. The ego refuses to be distressed by the provocations of reality, to let itself be compelled to suffer. In the small matters trust the mind, in the large ones the heart. The pleasure of satisfying a savage instinct, undomesticated by the ego, is incomparably much more intense than the one of satisfying a tamed instinct. Men are more moral than they think and far more immoral than they can imagine. Where it was, their egos shall be. Limited sex leads to increasing the value of sex. Life, as we find it, is too hard for us. It brings us too many pains, disappointments and impossible tasks. The madman is a dreamer awake. Words are capable of arousing the strongest emotions and prompting all men's actions. In the depths of my heart, I can't help being convinced that my dear fellow men, with a few exceptions, are worthless. Dreams are often most profound when they seem the most crazy. Beauty has no obvious use, nor is there any clear cultural necessity for it. Yet civilization could not do without it. The voice of the intellect is a soft one, but it does not rest until it has gained a hearing. The ego is not master in its own house. No, our science is no illusion. But an illusion it would be to suppose that what science cannot give us we can get elsewhere. Neurosis is the inability to tolerate ambiguity. Neurotics complain of their illness, but they make the most of it, and when it comes to taking it away from them they will defend it like a lioness her young. Friendship is an art of keeping distance while love is an art of intimacy. The goal of all life is death. The great question that has never been answered, and which I have not yet been able to answer, despite my 30 years of research into the feminine soul, is what does a woman want? We choose not randomly each other. We meet only those who already exist in our subconscious.